Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2. All right, stand by. All right, there we go. Okay, we are up and going. Everything is where it needs to be. So thank you for joining us tonight. If you are tuning in on Thursday evening, things pretty quiet as per usual. We're not seeing any major problems. We are getting into that point of the year to where we are going to see some stormier weather, and the rainier part of the year is coming up to where we get into around October or so. So we'll be watching for that. We could use the rainfall because we are desperately dry at this point. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. This is Weather Overtime from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, in the United States. For those of you who are joining us from points further afield, we're going to take a look at what's going on with the forecast, which includes some showers heading our way. And we also see, again, the potential for maybe some thunderstorms coming up, but really just not much more than that as we get into the next couple of days. Beyond that, into the weekend, things looking very quiet. We do see, again, some cooler temperatures. We are just about normal today, normal for this time of the year, upper 70s. So we're very close to where we should be. We're over 4 inches behind on rainfall for the year, so we could definitely use some more there. Record high 94 set back in 1954, and a record low of 36 set back in 1974. So it could be nice to see some of those numbers at least out across portions of the area. Downtown, quiet, dry, a little bit on the hazy side, but looking very quiet again for right now. And then the backup continues. Possible problems, it looks like, heading on over toward 75 north from the 75-24 interchange. Traffic from 75 north is okay, but it looks like there's a problem heading off to the east over toward Brainerd Road. So hopefully no major problems being seen there. A little quieter into downtown Chattanooga at the Speedy's Total Car Care camera at the Chattanooga Theater Center. Again, not too much on the hazy side here, but you can see some of that haze off in the distance. Some of that's wildfire smoke, some of that's just a little bit more in the way of just plain moisture in the atmosphere. Downtown on the Bailey's Heating and Air camera, Sylvester the Spider hanging out there at the top of the screen. Kind of hard to see Lookout Mountain again with a lot of the haze across the area. And last but not least, the Island Cove Marina and Resort camera and another Sylvester the Spider showing up there. Temperatures is pleasant. It's very mild. A few sprinkles showing up. Not a lot, but according to the report at the airport, seeing a little bit of some rain showers taking place here. We've got some very light areas of showers, no amounts of rainfall in the way of very heavy conditions coming our way, but we do have some scattered light showers across the area. Let me try that one more time. Most of the heavier stuff from earlier has pretty much gone by the wayside, and not seeing again anything in the way of very heavy amounts of rainfall. But if you're going to be traveling tonight, there are some scattered light showers taking place, and we're going to be seeing more of those head our direction throughout the evening. So we've got that potential out there for more in the way of raindrops for the most part. We've got a lot more showers down between Jackson and Tupelo, and those heading mainly east. So Birmingham, Montgomery, south of Huntsville will be picking up that much. We'll be seeing these fractured amount of showers off and on throughout the rest of the evening. And all of this is due to our latest storm systems, plural, coming on through. High pressure loosening on the east coast, heading off into the Atlantic. Philippe off into the Atlantic, very lopsided. We'll talk about that in a little bit. A number of different fronts coming down from the north, and that's where our cooler, drier conditions will be making their way in for the next couple of days. Through tomorrow morning, again, these chances of showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder, but again, we're not talking about a lot of activity here. And then by tomorrow afternoon, getting into Friday night football, this is where we may see that potential of some showers. It looks like south and east of Chattanooga. So by the time we hit rush hour home in the beginning of Friday night football, I think that most of the activity will be wrapping up because, again, this is the drier air coming on through, and that'll be giving us the potential for clearer skies and some milder conditions out there. going into the weekend itself. But for the rest of the week, into the weekend, the really cool air starts to move through by early Saturday morning. Clear skies there, mid 60s for Saturday afternoon, lower 40s, even a few lower 30s back over toward Huntsville. And then numbers not bad into Sunday afternoon, mid 60s or so, and staying there into around the rest of the early part of next week. Very mild numbers for the entire area. What we're looking at for right now is the potential for some more rainfall coming up next week, later on toward about Thursday. More chances of rain by next Friday, and unfortunately, from what it looks like, not great weather around here for the rest of the forecast toward the annular solar eclipse next weekend. That is where we see the potential for some more issues. Now, Saturday, that is going to be interesting because the storm systems pull on out. We'll be looking for the possibility of some pretty breezy conditions. Winds north at about 10 to 20 miles an hour. Not enough for a wind advisory, which is about 30 to 40 miles per hour, but on Saturday we could be looking at some fairly choppy conditions coming up, so that could become just a bit of an issue. Again, we've got 8 days left until the annular eclipse. The path of near totality, again, it's not going to be a total eclipse. It'll be just enough of the solar surface seen around the moon. That'll be well back to our west, from Corpus Christi back to about Oregon. We will see into, if we get to see anything whatsoever, about 50% in the News 12 viewing area in the Tennessee River Valley. That's where we see the potential for 50% coverage of the solar surface. Again, got to take very big precautions with this. Those eclipse glasses you saw with the special film to block out the sun's rays. Never, ever, ever, ever look at the sun directly with your eyes. Could cause damage. Galileo found that out with his way he did things, and we'll continue, hopefully, to see some minor conditions out there with just chances of rain in the long term. Again, the forecast all the way through next weekend is a little bit, again, the farther out you go in time, the more uncertain things are, and I'm hoping that things clear up a little bit all the way towards Saturday, but the closer we get in time to that date, hopefully weather will improve as we get closer to that area out there. The super forecast all the way through, again, the chances of rain heading into the area, minor for the most part, but then we go through the next few days, clear skies through most of the rest of next week, and then toward Friday, that's where we see that potential of rainfall coming through. Now, yesterday, this area of rain on the forecast was much bigger. So for right now, because we are kind of shrinking this a little bit, we're seeing better chances that we may not get as much rainfall. That's a small comfort when the skies are covered over, but I think we might be seeing an improvement here. We'll track the forecast over the next few days and see what we've got in the way of potential for this. So hopefully we're looking better on this, but we still have a long ways to go for right now. Philippe is still a tropical storm. Ocean temperatures not really helping out too much. It looks like the previous storms, Ophelia, Lee, and back toward around the area of Margot, I think it was, that is showing some good conditions. When these storms go across the ocean surface, they stir up the waters underneath, and that brings up a lot of cooler water from the depths. And if those storms move over that cooler water, they don't get enough energy to blossom into a hurricane or a major hurricane. So, and notice also right here on the southwest side of the storm, it's very lopsided. The clouds are all over here around 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, but we're seeing a lot of dry air here on this side of the storm. So yes, it is still a tropical storm. Yes, we still have winds of 50 miles per hour. Heading toward Bermuda, they're already starting to get some rain and winds there. But in the next few days, it looks like Philippe is going to be heading north, passing Bermuda, and then taking a left-hand turn into southern Canada across the St. Lawrence Seaway as a remnant low. Not a hurricane, but it is going to be breezy by the time it makes landfall. Like the one we saw just a few weeks ago, this could stir up a lot of wind for parts of New England. So travel to that area Definitely want to keep an eye on this. If you're heading anywhere, say east of New York City, most of the air will be coming off the land and over the ocean surface. That means it's going to be dry air, so I don't see a lot of major concern except for the winds. And again, that'll be around New England. This is not going to be affecting our weather. If it does go that direction, it might help to draw down more dry air and keep us a little bit more pleasant here. Now, beyond this, Philippe's still sitting in the western Atlantic. We are still watching the eastern Atlantic. Remember, we're still in hurricane season, so we're watching back to Africa, and another area the National Hurricane Center is keeping an eye on. 30% chance of development in the next week, so we'll see if this one becomes the S name storm. We don't have Q. We did Rena. That one is basically what's left up here. Rena fizzled out. This one could become the S name storm. I'm not too sure which one that is, what the name is, but we can look that up coming up a little bit later. So still a lot going on out there in the course of the next several days. So keep it tuned to News 12. We'll keep you updated on this. For your climate change link of the day, we try to feature these as many times as possible. This information came out today in this graphic courtesy of the European Center for Meteorological and Weather Forecasting, and also from the European Union Copernicus Satellite Data Center. This is showing a little bit more about the surface air temperatures globally, the anomalies, about how far over from normal the temperatures usually get, especially when you're seeing the spikes, the worst of the worst type of temperatures. And this signal right here on the end, way above what we have seen in the last quarter part of the 21st century. And seeing that trend going from cooling for the most part to strictly warming, and this signal here, which is a better part of like 2.5 times above normal. This is exceptionally worrisome, and a lot of the climate scientists around the world chiming in on this situation. And the quote here, I had to kind of squeeze it back because there's so much in here, but from Professor Stefan Rahmstorf, the head of Earth Systems Analysis at the Potsdam Institute in Germany for Climate Impact Research, saying, we quote, "We do understand the global warming caused by fossil fuels. For 4 decades, it's been going as predicted, but we don't understand the surprise upward leap that is happening now, and that worries me," unquote. That, again, is something to really pay attention to, and a perfect reason why we need to study what's going on, understand the causes, our fossil fuel burning fixation as a global human society. This is something that is very important. When signs like this start showing up that we're overshooting way above the top, 2023 has been a very bad year for these signs, and we need to double down, triple down on all the efforts to switch over to clean energy and stop using fossil fuels as soon as possible if we're going to have any hope of keeping our planet livable. This is, again, a warning sign of humongous proportions, and this is something that really needs to be explored and understood, and everybody needs to contact their elected representatives and explain to them why, at every level of government, and explain to them why this is important. It is happening. Humans are causing it. Case closed. It is not caused by variations in the solar cycle. It is not caused by volcanoes. It is caused by humans using fossil fuels, and this is a exceptionally bad sign at this point in time. So something to consider, and one more reason to get information as to what's going on with our planet and why you should stay involved and informed. So just something to think about there. 14 days until the world's largest earthquake drill, 2 weeks from today at about 10:19 local time. Your opportunity to get your emergency plan ready to go. Yes, we don't have many earthquakes around this part of the Tennessee River Valley. We have tornadoes. We have leftover hurricanes coming on through. Anything in the way of a disaster that can be thought of as a major disaster, now is the time to plan ahead for that, and this is a great way to do so. It was the Great Central U.S. Shakeout, centered around the New Madrid fault line. In this case, we're looking at the entire country, and in fact has gone worldwide. So if you'd like to know more about making certain you're ready to go for not just earthquakes, but for any disaster out there. This is a good reason and an excuse to practice emergency preparedness. So go to shakeout.org to both find out what other areas are doing and to register your event, to put that out there for other people to see what you're doing. Maybe you can inspire somebody else to find another way to learn about what's going on with earthquakes and how to plan ahead for that. Not a great day for being out on the links tomorrow. Again, we'll be looking for the potential of a lot of chances of isolated showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures will be great, winds will be okay, but with a metal rod in your hand, not a good place to be out on the links, so maybe not the best day to be out there. If you're planning on grilling, likewise have some rain protection ready to go for tomorrow because we may see some scattered showers on the Food City certified Angus beef on the grill cast. Showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, could be a bit of a problem for Friday night football out there. And then we get into some nicer numbers into the weekend, but dry and cool, a little breezy on Saturday again with those winds coming on through. So that could be a bit of a point of an issue there. Heading up in the morning, the kids may need some rain protection through the morning and some patchy fog possible. Remember, this is a real stop sign, so everybody stops in all directions to get the kids to school safely. And don't forget, we'll be looking at more chances of rain, albeit limited, into the afternoon, and temperatures for highs only in the upper 70s. So a decently mild day with an occasional rumble of thunder, and that should be about all we look for. Hopefully everybody has a safe into the weekend. Everybody gets safe home and into the homes for the weekend. Outdoor activities this weekend look really nice. A little breezy on Saturday, but other than that, really looking pretty good. Speaking of school, if you would like to have our weather experts at your school, that's great. All you have to do is send a request to the Food City Weather in the Classroom program, and you can find that available at wdef.com/weather. Fill out the information that we could use on our forms, and we'll cross-connect with you to see about getting one of us to visit one of you out there. So please get that done as soon as possible. Barnard Astronomical Society will be holding their Cloudland Canyon Star Party this weekend. Saturday looks good. It'll be brisk out there, so bundle up. 6:30 to 10:30 this Saturday. More information about their telescopes, the location, contact details, Facebook at Barnard Astro and barnardastronomy.org for more information. And coming up in 2 weeks after that, the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, Clarence T. Jones Observatory holding their star party. Again, that's going to be on Sunday, the 22nd. The topics for the lecture will be volcanoes in the solar system. The constellation lecture will be on the summer triangle, and the gates open at 6:30. Lecture in the planetarium show starts at 7. Telescope viewing available until 9 o'clock. Go to utc.edu, search UTC Jones Observatory, or find them on Facebook at facebook.com/UTC Observatory. Great opportunity to learn more about local astronomy. That'll wrap it up for now. Again, quiet, but could be some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder overnight, but nothing huge. And same thing for tomorrow. We'll have updates on the forecast tonight on News 12 at 11. And of course, I'll have your forecast Friday evening. Chip Chapman has all your details to start your morning coming up Friday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern, so stay tuned for that. And of course, always can find us online at wdef.com/weather. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Thanks for joining me on Twitch and Facebook Live. Stay tuned for more with News 12.